Today is your birthday. You wake up, check your phone, a few automated Facebook notifications from people you haven't talked to in years. Nothing real, you go through your whole day, work, eat, scroll, sleep. And you tell yourself it's fine, it's just another day. I don't need to make a big deal out of this, but somewhere inside something feels hollow. A little heavy, a little disappointed, and then you feel almost embarrassed for feeling that way. So you push it down, you move on, same thing next year. Here's the question nobody asks: what is all that pushing down actually doing to you? Because ignoring your birthday isn't just a personality preference, it's a psychological pattern. And that pattern has real effects on how you see yourself, how you relate to people, and how you experience your life. Let's get into it. Why birthdays actually matter. Most people think a birthday is just a date. You get older, maybe eat some cake, move on, but psychology sees it differently. A birthday is what researchers call a temporal landmark, a meaningful marker in time that separates before from after. It's a built-in pause button in the otherwise non-stop flow of your life. And here's what's fascinating. Across virtually every human culture throughout history, people have marked birthdays and life milestones with ritual. Why? Because rituals signal to the brain this moment matters, pay attention. Without those signals, life becomes an endless blur of identical days. Nothing stands out, nothing accumulates meaning. You wake up one day and wonder where the last decade went. Researchers at Wharton actually studied this and found something called the fresh start effect. People are significantly more likely to make meaningful changes in their lives right after a temporal landmark like a birthday. New goals, new habits, real shifts. When you ignore your birthday, you lose that reset point. Every day just continues to feel like the same stuck chapter. Why people ignore their birthdays. There are 5 main psychological reasons people avoid their birthdays. See which one hits home. Number 1. I'm too old for this. A lot of people decide that celebrating birthdays is immature after their mid-20s. But psychologists say this is often a cover for something deeper. I don't feel worthy of celebration. Suppressing emotional needs doesn't make them disappear, it pushes them underground. Number 2, painful past experiences. For many people, birthdays carry real baggage. Forgotten birthdays as a kid, a party where nobody showed. A year of disappointment after disappointment, the brain learns birthday equals hurt. Don't expect anything, this protection makes sense, but it also blocks out the good. Number 3, fear of attention. I don't want to seem needy. I don't like being the center of attention. Therapists recognize this as a pattern of chronic self-minimizing, often developed in environments where having needs felt unsafe. Dismissing your birthday isn't humility, it's self-erasure. Number 4, fear of aging. Birthdays mean getting older, and American culture is obsessed with youth. So ignoring the birthday feels like ignoring the number. But the anxiety doesn't go away, it just goes sideways. Irritability, dread. A vague feeling that time is slipping. Number 5, depression or low self-worth. This is the deepest one. When you're depressed, celebrating yourself can feel almost offensive. Why would I celebrate? What have I done? If this resonates, that's not a personality trait. That's a symptom worth paying attention to. What happens when you keep ignoring it? Here's where it gets serious. First, your self-worth quietly erodes. Every year you dismiss your birthday, you send a signal to your own brain. I am not worth marking. Brains notice these signals. Over years, that signal becomes part of how you see yourself. Research on self-compassion consistently shows that people who honor their own milestones tend to have stronger, more stable self-esteem, not the fragile kind that needs external validation, but the real kind. Second, your relationships suffer. When someone who loves you tries to celebrate you, sends a thoughtful message, makes you dinner and you say, "Oh, don't bother." It's not a big deal, you're rejecting their bid for connection. People can only extend those bids so many times before they stop. Over time, the people in your life stop trying, and you end up more isolated without ever connecting it to birthday avoidance. Third, you never turn the page. The fresh start effect isn't just about making goals. It's about psychological separation from past failures. Birthdays let you say, that was the old chapter, this is new. Without that, every day feels like a continuation of the same stuck story. Fourth, suppressed resentment builds up. Here's a pattern therapists see constantly. Someone says they don't care about their birthday, they don't tell anyone. They don't celebrate, and then the day passes with nothing. And they feel terrible not because they wanted a party, but because somewhere underneath the "I don't care" There was a quiet hope to be seen. When that hope goes unmet repeatedly, the result is a slow, unnamed sadness that quietly poisons how you feel about your life. A letter to people who hate their birthday. This part is for the people who have been avoiding their birthday for years. I want to say something directly to you. The reason you feel this way isn't because you're mature or above it. It's because somewhere along the way, your birthday started to feel like proof of something painful. Proof that people don't really care, proof that you haven't done enough. Proof that you're fundamentally alone, and so the day became something to survive. I understand that, but here's what I want you to hear. The birthday isn't the problem. The story you're carrying about the birthday is the problem. The story that says you're not worth celebrating, that your existence doesn't warrant acknowledgement. That joy is for other people, people who are further along, more loved, more figured out. That story formed because of real pain, real experiences, real losses. But it's still a lie. And the way you start to dismantle it, slowly, without any grand gestures, is by doing one small thing different this year. One act that says, I exist, that matters, I'm going to mark it. You don't have to convince yourself you deserve a party. You just have to be willing to say, maybe I deserve 5 minutes of kindness. Start there. What healthy celebration actually looks like. Let's make this practical. Healthy celebration is not about throwing the biggest party or getting the most likes. Here's what it actually looks like. 1. Celebrate for yourself, not for an audience. Ask yourself, if nobody knew, if there was no social media, no witnesses, would I still mark this day in some way? If yes, you're in healthy territory. If no, your sense of meaning on your birthday is entirely dependent on other people's responses. That's a fragile place to be. 2. Do a quick annual review. Set aside 20 minutes on your birthday. Ask yourself honestly, what am I genuinely proud of this year? What was the hardest thing and what did it teach me? Am I becoming the person I want to be? What do I want next year to feel like? This practice, done privately, without judgment, is one of the most powerful things you can do for your sense of direction. 3. Let yourself receive. When someone says happy birthday and you immediately say, oh, don't worry about it, you're refusing a gift. Letting yourself be celebrated is a skill. A simple thank you that means a lot is enough. But the act of receiving, of letting the acknowledgement actually land, is how you tell yourself, I am worth this. 4. Write a letter to future you. On your birthday, write a short letter to yourself to be opened next year. How are you feeling right now? What are you afraid of? What do you hope for? Seal it. Read it next year. Over time, this becomes one of the most powerful self-knowledge tools you have. 5. End the night with real gratitude, not for a caption. Just privately, 10 things you're genuinely grateful for from the past year. Not achievements, gratitude, the friend who showed up, the morning you felt at peace. The fact that you're still here. Outro. Here's the truth. Birthdays matter not because of the cake or the gifts or how many people called. They matter because your life matters. And a birthday is the one day a year that's built in, automatic, already there, asking you to acknowledge that fact. Not to prove it, not to earn it, just to quietly recognize I am here. I have been given another year. That is not nothing. Every year you are alive. You are navigating the full complexity of being human, the losses and the joys, the failures and the quiet wins, the relationships that ground you and the ones that break you open. That's worth something. Every single year that is worth something. So this year, even if it's small, even if it's just for you, even if nobody else knows, do something that says, I see me, I mark this, I'm here. That's where it starts. If this video resonated, share it with someone who always downplays their birthday. Leave a comment below. Do you celebrate yours? Why or why not? I read every single one. Subscribe for new psychology content every week. Until next time, take care of yourself for real.